All right. We're going to get things started, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get things started. Press 1, maybe a triple 1 in the chat. Let me know if the volumes are good right now. Let me know. Alrighty. Trying to find. Oh, is it not there anymore? Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I got some 111s in there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the stream. We are just about to get started right about now. Northwestern Railway. It's been a while since I've seen you in the stream, dude. Hey, how you doing? Mason, Wrigley, how you doing today? Regular Josh, I'm doing well. Thanks you so much for asking. Your mom says, and we're live. Welcome to the stream, the fierce athletic black queen. Yo, welcome to the stream. Emo and Yasha, welcome to the stream. Sonic the Hedgehog, boom. And I think that is about Hermes animation. I am so bad at pronunciation sometimes. Dude, Finley Forevermore, Victor 101 Network, Animation World Channel, Steven Listen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream. Got 19 people in here. Don't forget to hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. All right, think we are going to go ahead and get things started. All right. All right, yep, let's go ahead and get things started, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I apologize for the lower quality in terms of the camera right now, because for whatever stupid freaking reason, the app that I use to connect my phone's camera to this streaming service, for whatever reason, it's not working. I mean, as you can see right here, it still says pairing, and it's been doing that for like the past like 10 minutes or so. I kept trying to connect, and it's not doing anything, so I don't know what the hell is going on. So I'm frustrated, so we got to use this crappy freaking webcam, but it is what it is. That's all I can say. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, it sounds like I'm peaking. I can't really even tell. Let me turn that down a little bit. Alright, let me know again. Let me know if the volumes are good. Is the music a little bit too loud? Is it too low? Let me know. Just want to get things situated before we officially get started on this stream. Let's see, any other... Joseph Ramirez says, hey, I'm here. Welcome to the stream. Virginia Lake, hello. Welcome. It is always a pleasure seeing you. Welcome in. Oh, this is your first time SJM had sock. Okay, sorry about that. So this is my first time on the stream. Wow, first time. Welcome to the stream. All right, nice. All right, let's see. It says fine as long as we can see you. You're good. Your beautiful face again. No homo. My face is not beautiful. Please stop. But thank you so much. All right, so let me go ahead and take this headphone off. Yeah, so this is kind of like an impromptu stream, essentially. I wasn't fully planning on like doing an actual stream. Well, it wasn't that I wasn't planning on doing a stream. It was more so that like it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't. Well, yeah, it wasn't fully planned that I was gonna do a stream. Like I kind of was thinking about it, but I wasn't really 100% sure if I was gonna fully stream today. But I said, you know what? Why not? It's kind of the best time I can really do a stream. I was gonna possibly do one tomorrow, but at the same time, tomorrow isn't exactly the best day for me because I don't fully know how things are gonna go out, you know. Like I am attending a wedding tomorrow, like at 9 o'clock in the morning, so I don't know how long the reception's gonna be. I don't know how long the wedding's gonna be, and I don't know when the heck I'm gonna be getting back home either. So it's probably better to just do it today. And I gotta, you know, it's 6:21 right now, so I don't know exactly how long the stream's gonna be. It's probably gonna be a little over an hour. I'm not 100% sure necessarily, but yeah, like that's kind of the situation right now. But yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream. We are going to be talking about a couple of things. A couple of, like, you know, I didn't really get the chance to make a video this week. This week's been, I'm not going to say it's been hectic for the most part. I wasn't really doing too much, but, your mom says, who's getting married? Oh, it's a family member. Somebody from, my mom's side of the family who is getting married, and I am heading over to their wedding tomorrow because they wanted me to go there personally. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead if of course support you guys and everything. So it should be fun. That'll be my second wedding I have ever been to in general, because I've never really like fully officially been to well, the only other like wedding I've been to was my god sister's wedding, and that was pretty nice. That was all the way up in Montana. So, but yeah. But what was I saying? Yeah, I could have done a video this week, but like, this, again, I wasn't necessarily busy. If anything, it wasn't like, oh, I was busy or whatever. I guess I wasn't fully up to doing a video this week, or, well, part of it was that, like, I kind of just forgot about doing a video, but at the same time, I'll be incredibly honest, like, this week's been slightly rough. It's been slightly rough because of a situation that happened on Father's Day. Yeah. So this year, I'll be straight up honest with you guys. This year in particular has kind of been like up and down, up and down. Well, you know, it's been more ups than it has been downs. I will say that. It's just like, man, these past several months kind of been like somewhat interesting, you know what I mean? Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that on Sunday, on Father's Day, I lost my first dog. He was 17 years old, and he just suddenly passed. So that was a very, very shocking event that happened on that day. It sucked because I was having such a good week and having a good weekend and whatnot, but like that was not a great moment for obvious reasons. I've had him for about 17 years, which is pretty long for a dog. But like, damn, it wasn't a great moment, especially considering that, like, I didn't know exactly what was fully going on. He seemed fine. Like, I know he seemed like fairly, you know, like, I figured something was happening, but I didn't think it was that until, you know, I tried picking him up. Then he went limp, and I was like, oh, shoot. This can't be happening. So that was, like, really, really, like, that... I was pretty much freaking out. And the worst part about that was like, on that day, like, the vet, I was trying to call the vet, and, like, most of the vets were closed that day. And so I was kind of like, crap, well, what can I do? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, because I wasn't comfortable with picking him up and taking him somewhere, you know? So it was really a situation of like, well, damn. You know, like, what do I do? So eventually I found somebody. They were able to come over and pick him up, and, you know, so he's going to be getting cremated. And so eventually I'm probably going to get like an urn in a month or so. But yeah, like, that was, it put like a huge damper on things. And that was just not, it was not a great moment. It's not a great moment. I'm feeling a little about it right now, just talking about it. But yeah, just something I wanted to mention, you know. And it was like, just honestly thinking about it, of course, especially since this happened a few months, well, several months after the other, you know, death in the family that I, you know, keep mentioning here on these live streams. It's like, it's like, can I catch a break? Like, can I please catch a break? Can I not have situations that are happening that are making me freak the F out? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying not to cuss right now, but yeah, it was just not a great situation. So, which kind of sucks now, because I do have another dog that lives with me. Her name's Jerry, and she's about 13 years old now. And this week it's kind of been fairly like tough on her, because now it's just me and her living together. You know what I mean? And so she's not really used to, she hasn't really been used to, I guess, being alone, essentially. So, like, if I'm going out, say, driving for Uber Eats so I can get a little bit of money, or if I'm hanging out with a friend or something, or I'm doing whatever, she's gonna be kind of, like, really jumpy. She's whining now every time we're kind of interacting with each other. Like, I think she's kind of grieving a little bit, because that was her, you know, essentially, technically her bigger brother. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so in a way, this week has not really been the greatest. You know what I mean? Not that I've been, like, very sad overall or anything. It's just, again, you know, it's been a whole thing. So, yeah. So, that's kind of, I think, if anything, that's kind of partially why I haven't really been rushing this week to make a video. I wanted to make a video, but it's like, you know, it's kind of like, can I just stop getting into these situations, please? I mean, again, the other one happened months ago, but still, it's, you know, yeah, so, yeah, but anyway, let's move on from that discussion, because it's getting very depressing right now, and I don't want to necessarily, you know, continue on with that right now. Let's kind of get a little bit happier right now. Yeah, let me read a couple of comments here. Virginia Lake says, both situations are so stressful and overwhelming. I really hope for much better days ahead, because thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm doing fairly good. You know what I mean? It's just because, again, obviously one hurts way more than the other. You know, like you lose a dog and of course it hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much as like losing the other person, you know. But yeah, which again, I'm keeping that private on this channel, you know. It's just a personal thing I want to do. It's like, you know, it's a whole thing. But excuse me. But yeah, like, you know, I'm doing all right, you know, but it still kind of hurts for the most part. But yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and, Joseph Ramirez says, Rip Josh with dogs. Michael says, damn, Rip Josh. Thank you guys so much for that. Yeah, and your mom says, death has been really busy in the 2020s. Facts, dude. Like, Christ. You know, it's been, again, past several months. Not really the greatest. Anyway, let's go ahead and actually get started on the topics I wanted to mention. I gotta get better, for one, at, like, titling these streams, because I just say, hey guys, let's chat, let's do this, because usually I don't technically have like a topic when I do a lot of these streams. I mean, I barely stream on this channel anyway. Copy says, love you, Josh Hart. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, but again, like, I usually don't have much of a plan when I do some of these streams, and so I'm not exactly used to you know, like making a thumbnail particularly for the stream or what have you. So, but either way, one of the things that I definitely want to talk about in this video was, I mean, in this video, I'm not doing a video. One of the things I want to talk about when it comes to this stream is kind of the situation that's been going on with Warner Brothers Discovery. As you guys know, like, they still apparently, excuse me. Some of you guys may or may not know this, but they've still been doing some layoffs. I mean, they said they were done with the layoffs, but no, apparently some other layoffs have still been happening. And one of the bigger ones, I mean, they had a couple of layoffs happen at Adult Swim, surprisingly, this week. Which we thought Adult Swim was even going to be safe from doing more cutbacks, but no, they had like a couple of people. I think that, yeah, they had like a couple of people essentially get shafted, unfortunately, at Adult Swim. And two of them were like, I can't think of their names right now. In fact, I am gonna try to come up with not come up with anything. I want to look up the names of these people. Let me see. Adult Swim layoffs. Okay, so it says no more names down below. I am gonna bring up a screen, probably not for this necessarily, but for one of the things I want to talk about. It actually has to do with Comic-Con this year at San Diego, because they just mentioned something about this about like maybe a couple of hours ago in terms of like what's gonna happen at Comic-Con. And it's very interesting because it was something that I mentioned last stream when it came to like the writer strike and the potential actor strike that's going to be happening within the industry. And so because of that, it is affecting the Comic-Con that's going to be happening next month in San Diego. And so that's something I'm going to mention very soon here. But again, I kind of want to do this when it comes to Adult Swim. Where is it? Is that it? Yes. Okay. So, yeah, so I'm on Deadline, and it says, over at Adult Swim, there are also some major changes. We understand Ollie Green, Vice President of Animation, who has been described as one of the senior leaders of the company and who has executive produced series including Rick and Morty and Tuca and Birdie, is leaving alongside Ned Hastings, senior editor and producer, who has been with the company for over 20 years. For over 20 years, and is best known for his work on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, as well as around 8 to 9 other long-term employees. Oh, Christ. Now, I don't watch a lot of Adult Swim. I'll say that right off the bat. I am not the biggest watcher of Adult Swim. So, whether you guys know that, or you don't know that. Oh, and also another thing to mention, yeah, Dude also mentions that they wrote off DC Superhero Girls. That show didn't deserve it. I never saw Superhero Girls, to be honest. I wasn't really interested in it. But also, they barely aired it on Cartoon Network anyway. Like, it rarely freaking, like, aired on the channel. I don't think it really had much of a regular schedule on the, on Cartoon Network anyway. So, like, even then... excuse me. Even then, I don't think I would have been able to check out the series all that much to begin with. But even when it was airing online, my camera looks kind of glossy. Let me see. Let me kind of wipe that down just a little bit. I'm not sure if it made it any worse or if it made it any better. Kind of looks a little glossy. Let me know if it looks better or if it still looks... it still looks the same, so I don't think it really did that much. But yeah, yeah, DC Superhero Girls, like, didn't really get that much advertising or airing on Cartoon Network regardless. And so, yeah, it's kind of sad that they're, like, just writing it off. Apparently, it's going to be going off of Max, or I think it's already off of... Was it even on... Yeah, I think it's off of the Max streaming service, and it was, I think, taken off of the other services where you were able to purchase it and whatnot. So now it's gone. Gary the editor. Who's excited for Elephant Mario? LOL. First of all, thank you so much for jumping into the stream. Excuse me. But, yeah, Elephant Mario. Yeah, that I wasn't really expecting Elephant Mario when they did that, though. But he looks dope, 100%. So, that's gonna be pretty cool. But, yeah, back to DC Superhero Girls. Like, yeah, like... I didn't necessarily expect it to be written off, but unfortunately, that's literally what they did. And, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Again, I've never really seen it. It's Jaden says, DC Superhero Girl says, I think it's still on Netflix. Well, if it is still on Netflix, do expect it to get taken down if they are writing it off for tax purposes. Because if they're writing it off, they literally can't, you know, make any money off of it after it's been written off for tax purposes. It has to practically be wiped off of the internet. So that is very unfortunate when it comes to that. But yeah, like we thought that we thought they were done when it came to that, but nope, they're still doing it. You know, they're still writing off certain shows. Also, again, they're still cutting off some people from Warner Brothers television sector of the business, you know, and it's literally just freaking insane to me that this is still happening with Warner Brothers Discovery. But also, Warner Brothers Discovery is also in the news because they were doing some cuts at a channel called Turner Classic Movies, TCM. Which I know of the channel. It basically airs a lot of like older classic movies essentially, and I guess like it kind of preserves the classic movies basically. And you got like a lot of people, I guess you got people who work at the channel that also kind of talk about you know, these movies, kind of talk about the history of these movies and whatnot. I don't know too much about TCM. I've never really watched it, so I can't really say too much about TCM, if anything else. But again, at the same time, they're doing some cuts to it. It got so bad that you had, let me also look this up as well. Steven Spielberg, along with some other, directors, right? Like, really had to kind of call up David Zaslav, and try to, so it was Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, and Paul Thomas Anderson. They all, like, literally kind of collectively came together and tried to call up David Zaslav so they can try to say, like, yo, don't do this to TCM. This is really not a good idea for you if you want to preserve movie history and everything. And it's like, God damn, you know, he literally is pissing off directors with this move. Like, it's crazy to me just how much this director can, not this director, this CEO can just completely screw up a company so badly. Like, he's literally pissing off everybody. It's nuts to me. Scorsese. Okay, that's how you say his name. Thank you. Because I was kind of like, how the hell do you say his name? So it's Scorsese. Okay, gotcha. Mason Ringley says, no, that wasn't. I might try to come back to that one. But Shane says Warner Brothers are also trying to sell half of their music publishing assets for $500 million. Which, for one, I think is honestly insane that that's something that they're going to try to do. And also, it's like, oh, it would be part of trying to pay off their $42.5 billion in debt or something. I think it was like $42.5 billion or whatever. But it's like, that's only $500 million. So you would still be $42 billion in debt. So it's not really doing much. But this is like all of these things that Warner Brothers Discovery is trying to do to pay off their debt and whatever. And it's like, oh my God. It's crazy. I'm sure I am not alone on this when I say that Warner Brothers Discovery is literally the worst run media conglomerate currently right now. All of them are currently in complete deep, you know what, I can't really phrase this in a different way. I'm just gonna say it. They're in total shit right now. Like, I mean, they literally, I'm trying not to cuss, but I don't think I can really, like, avoid it at this point. But they are in some deep shit right now. Disney is, Paramount is as well. Like, because Paramount recently just canceled quite a bit of shows. I even seen some people mentioning it in the chat right now. But they've been canceling certain things. Again, I mentioned Disney. Disney's also been canceling a lot of, like, projects and whatnot. I don't know much about Comcast. I don't think Comcast or even like, no, that's the same thing. Or even Sony has really been doing too much. I haven't heard them in the news as much as, say, Disney or Warner Brothers Discovery. And even Paramount's kind of been like a little bit on the low side of that. But even then, you still hear some stuff about like what they're doing. And it's kind of like, Christ, you know, it's insane. Just like, how these media companies are just literally just going down the drain right now. And this is also on top of everything that's going on with these streaming services, but also with like the strikes that are going on. That's why the writers are currently on strike. And also, it's also why, it's also why currently, it's also why there's a potentiality, not even sure if that's really a word, but I'm going to say it, potentiality that the actors are possibly going to be on strike. Like, they're, you know, SAG-AFTRA, which is it's a union. I think I mentioned this in the last stream, but I'll mention it in this stream too. It's a union that essentially represents all the actors that are on television and actors that are on like the big screen in the theaters, right? So right now, from today on Friday to next Friday, they have until now and next Friday to reach a deal, essentially. In fact, let me go ahead and switch gears just a little bit. And let's go ahead and bring up that article. I'm going to be off cam for a little bit when I do this. But yeah, let's go ahead and bring up, because this has to do with it has to do with kind of flipping out a little bit. Okay, switching gears. There we go. But yeah, this has to do with let me move this over. There we go. Yeah, this has to do with. Wait, I could have sworn that it was okay. I don't know if that's yeah. But yeah, this has to do with the strikes that are currently going on right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and read just a little bit of this article so you guys understand what's going on. Comic-Con crisis, Marvel, Netflix, Sony, HBO, and Universal to skip San Diego Comic-Con as Fest faces another existential threat. Can Comic-Con catch a break? For 2 years, the biggest annual fan convention in North America was forced to cancel the five-day gathering due to COVID-19 pandemic, placing Comic-Con International, the nonprofit organization that runs the Comic-Con in San Diego, under unprecedented financial strain. Last year, San Diego Comic-Con came roaring back with a masked and vaccinated convention that was a robust success with blockbuster H Hall. Oh my god, how did I mess that up? Hall H panels for the Star Trek TV universe, House of the Dragon, The Walking Dead, and especially Marvel Studios. This year's Comic-Con, which is scheduled to start in July 19th, less than a month away, is increasingly likely to have none of those panels. At least that's what the studios across the industry are anticipating. If SAG-AFTRA, this is very important, if SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTP, which is essentially the union that basically represents the most of the producers and like the big name studios, again, like HBO, Warner Brothers Discovery, Disney, all those things, right? If they cannot come to terms by the June 3rd contract deadline and the guild goes on strike, actors will almost certainly join writers and showrunners in sitting out promotional events like Comic-Con, leaving studios with almost no one to populate panels in front of thousands of expectant fans. Now that is a very, very big thing, not even just for the sake of like, oh, you're not gonna have any panels happening at Comic-Con, which would really suck because that would kind of kill Comic-Con in a way. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people do technically go to Comic-Con for those panels, I think. But again, not only would this be detrimental to Comic-Con, but it's also detrimental to the entire industry, because let's think about this for a second. If SAG-AFTRA is not able to come up with any sort of deal before the 30th, then the actors do go on strike, which means any sort of show, any sort of movie that is scheduled to film at all, or is currently filming right now, it would all have to shut down because all of those actors literally would not be working. They would join the picket lines with the writers, and there is literally nothing to film. So all of these movies that are currently saying, yeah, we're going to be filming in, maybe in August or maybe later on in the year, they're trying to anticipate for that because they know there is literally only 1 week left to reach a good negotiation between the AMPTP and the SAG-AFTRA unions. And if there is no negotiation between the two, then the actors are literally out of a job. They strike, and there is literally no films and no television shows being made. None. So that would really, really be very detrimental to the industry. And honestly, at this point, like, I think the industry kind of deserves it right now, because they are doing as much as they can, honestly, to cut corners, cut costs, which is eventually taking down certain shows, canceling shows, and then you also have like shows that are not doing so well on the streaming services, and they're like, okay, we're going to take those shows down because we don't want to pay royalties. We also don't want to pay residuals. And when you go on streaming, the other issue, and I mentioned this in the last stream that I did, is that these particular shows, when they go on streaming services, you get paid a lot less. Writers get paid less. Directors get paid less. Producers probably are getting paid less. Actors are getting paid less. And when it comes to residuals, there's way, way, way less residuals. Okay? I know this for a fact because when I've done Bob Hart's Abishola, it was not a speaking role, but it was technically a co-star featured role, right? And I do get residual checks from that show. So anytime that episode airs on CBS, I do get a residual check. However, when I get, like, say, a residual check on television, right, from the episode airing on television, it's a fairly good amount of, it's a fairly good payout that I get. I'm not going to say how much it is. It's not, like, a huge amount, but it's still a fairly good amount, right? But if it's a streaming residual, right, because I do get residuals both from if the episode is being streamed on like Paramount Plus, which it is streamed, but it really depends on how many people are watching it, right? Compared to if it's just aired on television, then what I get from a streaming service residual check is way, way less. Like, way less than what I would get if the episode aired on CBS, right? So that's kind of the situation that we're talking about. Now, imagine if you're an actor and the streaming service is only, and the show that you worked on is only working, is only going on the streaming service. Not only do you get paid less in terms of the work you've done, but also, you, also, when it comes to the residual checks that any actors get, it's not as much as, say, if you worked on a show that was on a television channel. So that's the whole thing. So it's very interesting because, like, we're always talking about, like, the fact that cable TV is starting to die off and a lot more people are going to streaming, which definitely is starting to happen. But it's not necessarily all that great when you take a look at how these actors are getting paid, how the writers are getting paid, how the staff is getting paid. All of these studios are making a crap ton of money, right? But they're literally paying a lot of people less because it's on a streaming service. So that's kind of why a lot of these strikes are happening. Because the residual checks are starting to go down and down and down and down. The writers are also, like, the writers' pay is starting to go down and down and down. Also because, another thing that's also happening here is that they are working on a lot less episodes, right? And even then, like, the show Bob Hart's Abishola, one of the things that are happening, that show has a fairly big cast, right? And so one of the things that's kind of going on is that in the next season, what is planned from the producers, the actors don't necessarily want this, but the producers actually plans on cutting back on the amount of people that they feature in that show. So all of, like, say, the co-stars that are in Bob Hart's Abishola, besides the leads, what is currently planned, that could change currently, I don't know, but what is technically planned as of right now is that a lot of those side characters that get featured in almost every single episode, the plan is that they're now only going to be, essentially be featured in about 5 episodes. They're now only guaranteed 5 episodes, which is kind of ridiculous. And the actors are kind of talking out about this, and they're like, no, this is not great, because not only does it mean that we're working less, we're also getting paid less, and blah, 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 blah. It's a whole thing. So that's why all of these things are going on when it comes to these huge media conglomerates right now. Because of all of the cost cutting that they're trying to do, and, you know, all of this stuff, a lot of people are definitely beginning to just demand more from these companies. And again, I think these companies definitely deserve it. You know, like, you can't continue to just pay people less and less and less while you guys are still making record profits year after year after year. It just makes no sense that you're not going to continue paying all these people that are technically making you this money. You know what I mean? The actors, the writers, directors, all these people are literally making you money, because without all of them, you know, you legitimately just cannot, you don't have a business. If you don't have any of those other people, then you don't have a business. And so that's the whole situation. And so to hear that when it comes to San Diego Comic-Con, that this year there's a possibility that there is going to be like none of those panels, that's kind of worrisome when it comes to Comic-Con. At least I would think it would be a little worrisome. Not that I'm sure people would still definitely go there, of course, because people love Comic-Con. Not just that, but also, you know, people like to kind of dress up in cosplay and just go to these conventions and meet other people. And, you know, there would also be like other things that would happen as well. And the thing is with Comic-Con, I'm not even sure if like the biggest draw of Comic-Con are these particular, I don't know if the huge draw of Comic-Con is particularly those panels from Disney or from Marvel or from DC or from Paramount or whatever. I don't fully know. I would assume so, because obviously that's your chance to be able to see, like, say, the stars of your favorite show or your favorite movie. You get to be able to maybe ask them questions, or you get to, you know, see them at a panel and they get to talk and whatnot. You know, there's a lot of, obviously a lot of pull to be able to want to see these people in person. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, but it's all really reliant on, if SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTP are able to reach a negotiation, right? If they're able to reach a deal, because if they can't reach a deal, then the actors are going to be striking, and they're not going to want to be on a panel advertising a show with said company. And it probably would be like within the striking rules that they would not be able to promote a show either. So yeah, so that's why these particular companies are pulling out of Comic-Con as of right now. If anything changes and a deal is made, then you most likely are going to see these companies saying, okay, we got the actors, we're good, okay, cool, we're gonna go ahead and continue doing San Diego Comic-Con this year, and we're gonna have a panel. So that's definitely a possibility. We're not 100% sure. That's the whole thing. We're not 100% sure when it comes to that, but like, yeah, that's kind of what's going on, and it's a mess. It is definitely a mess. So yeah, but I think that's kind of about all I really want to mention when it comes to this, because I'm gonna go through the through the article and see if there's possibly anything. Oh yeah, the one of the things also is that Warner Brothers Discovery, not every single like studio has kind of pulled out yet, but there's a lot of, oh shoot, wasn't expecting that. Apparently there is a first look of the Avatar Last Airbender live action series. Okay, that's a surprise. Am I gonna pull that up? No, I'm not really interested, but yeah, I mean, we could, maybe. I mean, I think you would rather want to watch that with somebody that would be interested in, like, talking about it. Even though it's kind of interesting that Netflix is doing all of these, like, live action remakes and stuff. I don't know why, but that's what they're doing. But yeah, but either way, like, Warner Brothers Discovery, as of right now, they're currently on the hold, in sense of they're not exactly canceling their panels, because again, there's really no way of knowing like if these panels are gonna happen, well, because they don't know if the negotiations are gonna go through or if they're not gonna go through. So that's kind of the current situation right now. And you know, it's kind of crazy how this is like the times we're living in right now, because thinking back to the writer's strike, they're not even like necessarily close to having a deal being made. Negotiations, I think, are barely happening between them right now. And so the writers are still on strike. After this particular week, after the 30th, they will literally be going into their 3rd month of striking. And it's going to be very interesting. You know, I didn't expect it to last this long, but apparently that's exactly what is going on right now. Oh shoot, it's about almost 7 o'clock, and there are a couple of things that I would like to possibly do. I don't know if I will, but again, there's a couple of things I would like to. Well, for one, I'm probably gonna eventually order some food, maybe not, I don't know. But also there is that new episode of Unicorn Warriors Eternal that I missed last night. Like, I was gonna watch it, but I completely missed it. So, it's gonna air again at 7:30, so, I would like to definitely catch that. I think, like, I can rewind back to it if I, like, say, possibly end this at 8 o'clock, I don't know. But it really depends. Okay, so let me see if there is... Joseph Ramirez says, it's like 2023 has been a terrible year for Hollywood. It literally has. I mean, like, it's literally crazy just, like, how insane things have been going with Hollywood right now, you know? Like, it's not even just with, like, the whole actors potential strike and the writers strike and yada, yada, yada. But, like, a lot of them are just not doing so well financially, which is kind of interesting when you say, oh, they're doing a lot of stuff in terms of, like, making a profit, but obviously it's greed, and so they want to make more profit, so that's why they're cutting back. You know, that's why Disney is saying, yeah, we're cutting back on $5.5 billion. 5.5 billion freaking dollars, guys. Like, that's a big freaking number. That's worse than Warner Brothers Discovery. That was $3.4 billion. Let's really put that into perspective, okay? Like, it's getting insane. Virginia Lake says, that sounds like a big part of the panel not showing up. Huge mess indeed. Yeah, like, again, I'm, like, really interested in seeing, like, what's possibly going to happen when it comes to Comic-Con. I hope, like, if the panels end up not happening, I hope Comic-Con can still survive. And hopefully you don't see a big drop-off of people not going to the Comic-Con this year. Like, because then that would be kind of bad, especially considering the fact that, like, if they were to lose even more people, that, like, going to Comic-Con, would it be possible that Comic-Con shuts down this year? Say, yeah, because of, you know, people, like, really pulling out, we may not do Comic-Con this year, you know? I don't think that's gonna happen, but it's a possibility, and that's kind of scary. It's kind of like, you know... and then it kind of probably wouldn't necessarily bode all that well for next year if things were to kind of go south this year. You know what I mean? Cartoonish Claude says, thoughts on the Primos controversy. You know, I've kind of been avoiding that one, to be honest, when it comes to the whole Primo situation. Like, I think some people have kind of blown it a little bit out of proportion, just in my personal opinion. Especially considering, like, it's a whole thing of... oh, well, this is, not correct language. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter if that's how you say it, but that's not how you, that's not the correct language for, I guess, hey cousins or something. I don't know. It's kind of, I guess it's somewhat complex. And it's not, I don't know. It's kind of like I guess, somewhat of a touchy subject and whatnot, and especially a lot of people who kind of talked about it. They're like, hey, if you're not Latino or you're not Latina or whatever, you can't really talk about this because you're not blah, 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 or something. And it's like, okay, I'm going to just stay away from that. So I've kind of been, you know, it's gotten to the point where, like, I literally had to just, you know, just stay away from any kind of conversation on it. Like, if I see a post about it, I just scroll past. I'm like, I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to, you know, it's like, it's gotten to that point where it's like, I don't necessarily want to continue seeing discourse about this. It's kind of gotten kind of crazy to me. It's like, you know, so I kind of stay away from Primos. It sucks because, like, do I think it looks like it'd be an interesting show? Yes. Do I think it seems like it's a copy of the Casa Grandes? Yes, I do. Not gonna lie. But you know, it's yeah, it kind of sucks. You know, like it looks kind of harmless to me, but it's like, it's whatever. So again, I kind of stay away from it. Let's see. Doodoo says, ever since Max rebranded, I can't watch it on my phone anymore because it always brings up an error. I can only watch on my laptop now. Yikes. I remember the first time I the first time... What's going on? Yeah. No, but what I was saying was that the first time, damn, what the hell am I trying to say right now? Yeah, the first time I tried, accessing Max on my, computer, for whatever reason, it kept doing the same thing. It was like, error, error, error. But when I brought it up on my TV, it had no issues. And so it was kind of like, man, what the heck is going on? You know? So to hear that apparently you're still having issues with it on your phone, like, that's kind of weird. Like, yeah, like, that's kind of sad. Joseph Ramirez says $5.5 million. Well, did I say $5.5 million or $1 billion? Like, because it's $5.5 billion that Disney is wanting to cut back on. And, again, yikes. It's, again, that's worse than Warner Brothers Discovery. I think they're slightly handling it a little bit better than Warner Brothers Discovery, I think, but it's still a freaking mess, though, regardless. So, yeah, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, there was just something. Pythex, I think that's how you say your name, says, "Hi Joshua, do you know about the Bluey episodes coming to Disney Plus on July 12th? Yes, I am definitely aware of the episodes coming back or coming to Disney Plus, and I definitely, of course, cannot wait to check that out. I think there was a comment that Walker Lee said. Oh yeah, I think it was more along the lines of like long time no see, I think. I don't fully remember. Okay, Virginia Lake says, have you watched any of the Star Wars animation? Jesus Christ, what the hell? Okay. God damn. Didn't expect that to happen on my screen. I literally just lost Virginia Lake. Where is it? There you go. It says, have you watched any of the Star Wars animation, Clone Wars, Bad Batch? No. I'm not really a Star Wars fan. I never got into it. Like, I never checked out any of the movies, and so consequentially, I'm not really gonna check out any of the series. So, I mean, maybe one of these days I'll check out Star Wars related content and whatnot, but it's just never been like an interest to me, you know what I mean? So I never really watched any Star Wars related content. So to answer your question, no, I have not. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's talk about Elemental for a second. Now, I didn't watch Elemental. I'm not really interested in checking out that movie. But yeah, it's a shame that it's definitely going to be considered a flop. I don't know how it's going to be, excuse me, I don't know necessarily how it's going to perform this particular weekend, but yeah, dude, it's kind of a shame. And the thing is, when I've heard people kind of review the movie, it seemed mixed. There's people who definitely enjoy the movie for what it is. And then there's some people who are not really a fan of the movie. They don't hate it, but like they're not really like a great fan of the movie. You know, they say maybe it's a little bit too predictable, or it's like it feels way too Pixar, or there's like certain complicated things that they kind of, I guess, cover in the movie that doesn't fully exactly make sense because we're talking about elements here. Jody Benson, fan forever, says the movie just looks generic and boring. Yeah, I have to kind of agree. I mean, when I watched, like, I guess the teaser trailer when it came out, like, a couple of years ago, well, not a couple of years ago, I think it came out, like, last year, it looked kind of interesting because it seemed pretty different, you know? But at the same time, like, when the trailer came out, it was like, yeah, it kind of looks... it kind of, at least in my personal opinion, it kind of ended up looking generic, and it was like, yeah, I don't know if I can say I'm really all that interested in checking out that movie, which kind of sucks, but it's like, you know, so I don't know if I'm gonna particularly watch that movie at all, but it just doesn't really pique my interest. And, you know, and speaking of that, another movie that I think is unfortunately going to be a flop, not because it looks uninteresting, This one in particular does kind of look interesting. But there's barely been any freaking advertisement for it, which I think is incredibly stupid, but okay. I recently just started seeing television promos for it this week, which is like, where was it the entire month? It made no sense, but, oh shoot, what was the name? Ruby Gillman? Teenage Kraken, I think that's her name. Excuse me, I might go ahead and take a little bit of a water break. I do not have a water bottle with me right now. But yeah, that particular movie, Teenage Kraken, yeah, dude, like, unfortunately, that one, Ruby Gillman, yes, that one, unfortunately, just barely had any sort of advertising. Like, I rarely would see any sort of advertisement for that movie on television. I didn't see it on billboards. I barely even saw it online. So, like, unfortunately, that one is probably going to end up being a flop too, because, I mean, and I've seen some people, apparently, I don't know how they did, but some people ended up, like, seeing the movie, and I've heard a couple of good things about it, but, like, again, it's because of the fact that it's, hasn't been advertised all that much. You know, people are not really going to be able to check out the movie because they're not going to really know that it exists. So it makes no sense to me that they barely freaking advertise the film on television. And again, I haven't seen it in any billboards. I haven't seen it on any, like, bus stations or on buses at all. It's kind of crazy to me. And it comes, and as some people are mentioning here, it comes out June 30th. So it is literally, like, quite insane to me that they've barely done any sort of advertisements for it. So I don't know how it's going to perform. It's probably going to unfortunately be a flop in that sense. Not because the movie is bad. I don't think, like, the movie probably isn't bad, most likely, but again, they just barely advertised it, and I think it's incredibly stupid. Now I'm going to be right back, actually, because I am going to get some water very quickly. So again, be right back. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Alright, and we're back. And we be back, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so, excuse me. Oh, that's a very good point that, Virginia Lake mentioned here as well. June 30th is also the day Indiana Jones 5 comes out. Yeah, so Ruby Gillman is, definitely gonna end up flopping because everybody is gonna want to see Indiana Jones 5 instead of that film. I mean, you're gonna have kids that are probably gonna want to see that film too, but again, do kids know that that movie exists? Because it hasn't been advertised that much. Starting to advertise now on TV, but it's like, I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, honestly, and it's kind of sad. Braxton, the Beyonder 2009 says, by the way, the $15.4 million domestically goes to Elemental. So is that how much it's made overall, or is that how much it made in the first weekend of it being open? Like, let me know. because I'm not 100% sure. Because I don't think I even really, like, knew how much it actually made in the opening box office. I'm not fully particularly sure about that. Okay, Jody, okay, so that was what they made in the first week, and so far, Elemental made $50 million so far, supposedly. Okay, which is not really the greatest number, because I'm gonna look this up, see if I can find, like, because when it comes to movies like this, Elemental, I always tend to kind of look up, like, how much was the budget of these films, because these movies are, like, really expensive. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's see. Elemental budgets. Let's see if they're... Ooh! Okay. So, the total budget for Elemental, ladies and gentlemen, is reportedly $200 million. I want to repeat that again, put that on the record, that Elemental cost them $200 million. So, and they only made about 50 million, and also, I think in a couple of weeks, it's already going to go on Disney Plus as well. Yeah, the movie's screwed. That movie is definitely going to flop. In fact, if anything, I'm not even sure if any of the other Pixar films recently, say Soul or Luca, Turning Red, because those all went on Disney Plus instead of in the movies, because, you know, did any of them even make remotely any of their budget back? I don't know. Like, I've been looking for it, and I can't really particularly tell if it has been, you know, if they made any of their money back. That's pretty bad. That's a shame when you really think about it, especially considering that, like, you know what? Let me also bring this. Let me also look this up too, because I'm curious. Because I know that the Super Mario Bros. Movie made $1 billion at the box office. Super Mario Bros. Movie budget, and how much was the budget for that particular film? Super Mario Bros. 100, so 100 less than Elemental. So $100 million was the budget for, which is that the biggest budget for Illumination Studios? I don't know, but because they tend to make their films at least cheaper than, say, what Pixar or Disney Animated tends to do. But they made $1 billion, you know, and even Disney, on like a shareholders conference or like a shareholders call, because I kind of tend to listen to those nowadays, like even like Bob Iger, the CEO of Walt Disney, they even said just wanted to congratulate Super Mario Bros. Movie for making $1 billion. And I was like, what? Like, I was like, wait a minute, Disney, the CEO of Disney, is congratulating freaking Universal and Illuminations on how successful the Mario Bros. Movie was? That freaking blew my mind when that happened. It was hilarious to me. But yeah, like, it's kind of crazy that you know, that movie can make $1 billion. I mean, well, the thing is, it's Super Mario Bros. Okay, a lot of people love the Mario franchise, and of course, they wanted to see a movie that reflected what the games looked like. The previous movie didn't do that, so obviously that movie was not really well regarded by a lot of people, and this one, of course, did. So it was kind of a no-brainer, and regardless whether the movie was incredible or if the movie, you know, like, because he got some critics and he got certain people that didn't necessarily like the movie all that much because it didn't tell that much of a story, it was rushed, and yada, yada, yada. The movie definitely has its issues. It's not the greatest movie out there, but for a Super Mario Bros. Movie, it was great. You know what I mean? And it really got the job done, and so a lot of people loved it, especially for what it was. So, So in a way, it was kind of a no-brainer that it made them $1 billion or over $1 billion. Virginia Lake just says Universal has the new land and a good movie to go with it. Bob Iger noticed. Exactly. That's the other thing as well, is that, like, Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood right now, like that. If you see the crowds, which is why I'm not going anytime soon, might I add, because I don't think I can handle those crowds. Looks ridiculous. That is why, it's partially why, I should say, why Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood has been hellishly packed. Like, it's been insane, just how, like, busy it's been. Because you're literally transformed into the world of Mario. It's kind of interesting. It's called Super Nintendo World, and it's literally just Mario Land. But like, you're literally just transformed into the world of Mario, and it's a huge. It's also a very highly interactive land as well, and so they've done an incredible job with that. So, along with the promotion of the land and the promotion of the movie, that's why both the land and the movie has been doing so well. And yeah, it's kind of was pretty hard for Disney to not necessarily take notice of that. So, you know, it's been a very interesting in that regard. Oh, shoot. Okay, so the Samurai Jack remix is playing in the background. It is like one of my favorite remixes, actually. So, you know what? I'm going to turn it up to let you guys listen to it just for a little bit, all right? I mean, this is literally like one of my all-time favorite, let me turn it down real quick. It's kind of like one of my all-time favorite, like, Samurai Jack, theme song remixes, because it's kind of that dope. It's pretty dope. I'm gonna just kind of jam out to this one just for a little bit. Yeah. Braxton says, "What a banger!" Exactly. See, it's a very freaking dope remix. Mark Rojas says, "Hi, welcome to the stream." Do something very quick. It is seriously one of the freaking best. I'm not even joking. I just freaking love that. It's so dope. All right. Come on. I mean, come on, guys. That's freaking dope, okay? Shoot. Like, I can't be the only one that thinks that's, like, one of the cooler remixes. All right, let's get some of the music back playing right now. Oops. What? I didn't exit out of that, no? Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. Yes, so we are good. All right. I don't think I'm going to be on for too much longer necessarily, because, again, I do have... Well, the show's about to start in 10 minutes, but, again, I can rewind back to it, so that's a plus side. I do have DVR. Let me go back to the chat. Gillian says bass drop. I love it. Yep. Again, It's a freaking dope song. A dope freaking remix, all right? Like when I started like hearing it play in the headphones, I was like, oh shoot. Okay, I can't miss this. I gotta play it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Your mom says it did not need to be that unbelievably good though. Facts. Literally didn't, but I can't think of the person who actually let me bring that up. So I think let me turn that down just a little bit more as well. Yeah, who's the one that created that? Musicality, I think. Yeah, Musicality, I think, is the person who did the remake for that. I found it on YouTube and it was on SoundCloud as well, so yeah. But they did like a pretty banging job of that one. Yeah, but let's move on from that song. Let me answer a couple more of your questions. If there's any questions that you guys have to ask me, let's make maybe the last 10-15 minutes a Q&A. And I'll try to get to all of your questions. If I don't get to all of your questions, don't be offended or what have you. You know what I mean? Just excuse me. Yeah, but yeah, just just ask any kind of questions you want. It doesn't even have to be about like television or movies. It could be about theme parks, because I love talking about theme parks. It could be about like I guess things happening in society or whatever, or you know, any kind of questions you possibly want to ask, and I will possibly answer them. Virginia Lake says, when you're feeling a little blue, play that song and made you smile and jam. Yes, exactly. And you know, that's the thing, right? The day, I think it was the day afterwards. Yeah, the day after my first dog passed away, on Sunday, right? I was listening into this DJ on Twitch who I follow. Yeah, I follow on Twitch, and he also has a YouTube channel. He goes to Disney as well, so I tend to listen into his streams a lot. And like, I was kind of just like jamming out to his music, and I was just feeling so much better, and I was like, damn. I feel like, I was like, this is literally, it's like music literally, especially if it's the kind of music I can jam out to, right? Like, I will literally feel so much better, you know? Maybe not necessarily instantly, but it will just make me feel much better. Like, either I'm like happier now, like I'm kind of jamming, I'm like, yes, this is my jam. Oh, this is good. You know what I mean? So that literally will kind of just like pull me out of the blues, if that, you know, if that makes sense. So like literally playing like any sort of song that is my favorite that I can literally just like jam to and whatnot is kind of the coolest thing. And it really helps me out, you know, because, you know, there's a couple of times when I'm kind of like not necessarily feeling it, you know, like I'll be honest, on my birthday after I went out to eat, you know, like I went to a sushi place and ate by myself, and the service was, the food was good, the service was you know what I mean? And I'll be honest, like when I was kind of driving back home, I was feeling a little down, you know what I mean? Because again, I wasn't celebrating with a certain person again, because she's no longer here anymore, and so that kind of, I guess, made me just a little bit depressed. But again, you know, like I was listening to a little bit of music, and also kind of talking with Gary the editor, who I talk with almost every single day, and you know, kind of lifted my spirits, you know what I mean? So, and kind of reading all like the birthday messages that I got back last weekend, and so, you know, it was definitely great. So it kind of lifted up my spirits in a way. Well, not last weekend, 2 weekends ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. But yeah, but kind of like lifted my spirits in a way. So yeah, so that was kind of the situation there. But yeah, music definitely helps out a lot. Gillian Felix says, happy belated birthday. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead and get to some... Ice Cream Hero says, did you see Haley's on It? That show is awesome. Yeah, I've seen pretty much all the episodes so far that has aired on Disney Channel. And the show is definitely very fun. I really enjoy it. It's kind of, I wouldn't even say it's zany, but it's very interesting. It's a lot of fun. I can't check out the new episode when it airs tomorrow because, again, I'm going to be at a wedding. But I have it recorded So I'm definitely gonna check it out when it when I eventually get back home, because I don't want to miss any of the newer episodes. And again, I kind of have to mention this because also Pythix, I don't know if that's how you say your name, but you asked, what do you think of Kif? I enjoy Kif as well. Like, I've been watching, I'm also recording the new episode of that airs tomorrow. I've been watching that show as well, and it's a very, very fun show. And so I've gotten into it, and I really enjoy it as well. I didn't necessarily know if Kif would be a show that I would be interested in, but it's fun. I kind of like the character designs of the show, and it's very funny as well. And I like the characters, so it's a really good show. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. Same with Haley's on it. And that's one thing I kind of want to mention. Disney Channel is doing what Cartoon Network currently is not doing right now. It's making me excited for the new shows that have come to the channel, and it's made me like really want to tune in to their channel way more. Like, I'm tuning in to want to see the new episodes all the time, and I'm watching a lot of their like animated content, which is fairly good. So you know, Disney Channel is kind of hitting it out of the park for me, in my personal opinion. Even with some of their live action shows, mainly with like Raven's Home and Saturdays. Like, those are the two shows in particular that are their live action shows that I've been watching, and been having a lot of fun watching those as well. So they've been doing pretty good in regards when it comes to their content. So they've definitely gotten better, in my personal opinion. Jason Ramirez says, what is your favorite cartoon from Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network? I think for Nickelodeon, it would definitely have to be SpongeBob. I know that's like very typical and probably a generic answer and whatnot, but as of right now, it is SpongeBob. I don't think anything technically tops it. I don't think anything tops SpongeBob as of right now. Even like going back to any of the classic like cartoons that used to air on Nickelodeon, I'm not sure if anything tops it necessarily. So again, I think it would have to be SpongeBob essentially. And for Cartoon Network, I don't know. I would probably have to say maybe Ed, Edd n Eddy. I think maybe Ed, Edd n Eddy. I think Ed, Edd n Eddy is probably my favorite cartoon from Cartoon Network. It's one of their craziest shows that they've had, you know, because every time like I've watched any of their like when they would air it on television, or when they were airing it on TV during their like birthday bash for their 30th anniversary or their 30th birthday, when I would watch episodes of Ed, Edd n Eddy, I was like, man, I forgot how good this show was and how crazy it was too. So yeah, so I really enjoy it. I think particularly for that. So I think I would have to say Ed, Edd n Eddy is one of my favorite shows from Cartoon Network. Let's see. Your mom says, what underrated animated series you want a reboot of? That's a good question. What underrated? I don't know if I would particularly say the show is underrated, or at least currently. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I guess I'll give an answer. I personally would like to see My Life as a Teenage Robot make a return. Like, I think, like, if they were able to reboot that series, I think that would be cool. Like, that was one of my favorite series when I was a kid as well. I would watch it all the time. Kind of sucks that it ended, especially moving, like, the newer episodes to Nicktoons at the time. But still, it was one of my favorite shows. And if they were able to bring that show back, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, let's see. Trying to catch up. God damn it, I seriously kind of just missed. Did I get... I think... Oh, okay. Puffy Haired Ghost says, Disney World or Universal Studios? If you're talking about, like, Universal Studios in Orlando, I have not been to Universal Studios in Orlando. Out of all the times I've been to Orlando, and it's been literally 13 years since I last been to Orlando, I really need to go back. I'm hoping to go back later on this year. I'm kind of planning for it, but it really depends on how my budget is. But I've only been to SeaWorld in Orlando and Disney World in Orlando. I've never been to Universal or even Busch Gardens in Orlando. I've always wanted to go, but we just never went. So like next time, if I were to go to Universal Studios in Orlando, or if I were to go to Orlando, I would probably try to squeeze in Universal Studios, of course, because my main focus would definitely be Disney World, because I've been to Disney World so many times, and there's a lot of memories I hold at Disney World as well. So I really miss Disney World, so I want to go back as soon as I possibly can. Let's see. I think I answered that one. Ozzy All says thoughts on Bluey releasing new episodes of Disney Bluey. Thoughts on Bluey releasing new episodes on Disney Plus July 12th. Which I did kind of mention that I think it's pretty cool that we're still getting new episodes, and I can't wait to see them. And why do you think it's different compared to other preschool shows? I think the biggest reason why it's very different compared to other preschool shows is that it doesn't necessarily talk down to kids. It teaches some very valuable life lessons for kids at that age to learn. Also kind of teaches lessons sometimes for parents to kind of learn as well. And the show definitely reflects, or it feels way more real than the other shows are. The other shows are purely like, fantasy, like Paw Patrol or Puppy Dog Pals, or the newest show that they have on Disney Junior right now, Pupstruction, right? Like, they all teach certain lessons and whatnot, but like, not in the way that Bluey does it. Again, Bluey just feels way more real in the way that they teach their lessons. And also, a lot of the stuff is kind of, I guess you could say, like, it kind of reflects real life in a way. The other shows don't reflect real life, but Bluey in some ways kind of reflects real life in a very well received way. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of why it's like very different from a lot of other preschool shows, and it just does it very well. You're probably going to see copycats of Bluey at some point. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because it's been doing so well. Will it be a winning formula? I don't know. It really depends. But I think that's kind of like a big reason. And also, it's more mature than a lot of the other preschool shows as well. It's got beautiful animation, beautiful visuals. Not everything is like constantly very colorful and hugely vibrant colors, which is not always bad, but it kind of makes a lot of the other shows kind of look the same, sometimes kind of blending in it a little bit. And some of the animation that they do as well, especially because it's 2D animation, incredible, like definitely beautiful. And they're able to do things that other preschool shows just can't do, right? Like, they've had a couple of episodes where there's been little to no dialogue whatsoever, and it's mainly just been like music as well, kind of telling, and it's mainly been like music and visuals kind of telling the story. Like Sleepy Time is like the best example of that. I mean, it has dialogue in there, but there's like a lot of moments in that particular short where there's no talking, and it's just visuals and music kind of telling the story. And again, the way that they do it is so freaking beautiful. You know what I mean? Other preschool shows literally can't do that. They don't have the ability to, because of the way that the writing is, or the way the characters are, and all that kind of stuff. Not to say that those are bad, it's just, they're different leagues. Bluey is just in a completely different league when it comes to all the other preschool shows. So that's kind of what I'm saying there. So that's why it's compared very differently to other preschool shows. Excuse me. Gillian Felix, I'm trying to catch up with chat. Says, tell me your opinion on Illumination's next film titled Migration in theaters December. That one looks very interesting. I really love how they did the teaser for it. Like, I love the use of the song, like the edit of that song that they used was definitely amazing. I love, when you have like the ducks starting to fly out of, I guess, the woods, it goes through, like, the camera's kind of following the father duck flying through the trees, and then boom, you have like this big, beautiful, colorful visual of like the mountains and the clouds, the sky and the tree. The way they do that was beautiful, honestly. And like when I first saw it, not gonna lie, it kind of brought a tear to my eye, you know what I mean? Like I just thought they did it beautifully. And I hope that kind of sticks when it comes to the entire film itself. It got my attention. It definitely got my attention, and I really, really, really hope that they kind of stick with it in the sense of, you know, beautiful visuals, and also kind of like just telling a good story, because it seems to be fairly interesting. So yeah, so I'm excited for it. Hopefully when like a full 2-minute trailer kind of comes out, it piques my interest even more, and not, oh, it's this kind of story. Because unfortunately, I feel like that's been happening to me a lot recently with a lot of these animated movies, where like you'll see like the teaser trailer and it looks great, and I kind of get a little excited for it, and I'm like, okay, it looks like, you know, looks like it's a movie I could definitely want to check out. But then when the 2-minute trailer comes out, right, like fully telling us what the story is and what the adventure is and yada yada yada, there's times when I'll kind of look at it and I'm like, I already know what this is going to be, or I already know where this is going, I already know what the story is, you know. And it's like, it's kind of disappointing sometimes. And so I hope that Migration doesn't end up doing that. It might, but if it kind of can at least keep my interest, then like that's kind of like, I guess, a bigger things that kind of matters in that regard. Let's see. Ryan's Treasure says, have you seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It turned 35 yesterday. I don't think I ever fully saw the entire movie, but I saw like a good chunk of the movie years ago. And you're never going to see a movie like that ever again. Like, I think that's clear. You're never going to see a movie like that ever again. And I'm sure it was very revolutionary at the time when it came out, especially considering that Warner Brothers characters and Disney characters were interacting with each other. You will never see something like that happen today. Absolutely not. But man, like, it would be incredible to see something like that again, though. But like, yeah, I may have to like really check out the film from beginning to end, because again, I'm not sure if I fully watched the movie. I don't know, like I'm not 100% sure, but from what I do remember, I remember seeing a bit of quite a bit of the movie and really enjoying it. So that might be one that I have to check out eventually. Ice Cream Hero says, the best episodes of KIF so far are Club, Library, and Halfway There Day. Those 2 episodes had me dying. Yeah, the reason why I like Halfway There Day is because when you had like Beverly kind of giving KIF her food, and then KIF was kind of just saying like, oh, I almost pulled a total Beverly, and she kind of explained where that expression came from, and then Beverly kind of just gave her this stare, and then like the camera kept getting closer to her, and then eventually when KIF was like, I don't even know your name, I'm KIF, and you are, and then Beverly was like, Beverly, right? And then like KIF had like her face kind of shrunk, and she gave like such a funny expression, and then she's like, yikesio. And that gets me every single time. So that's like the biggest reason why I freaking love that episode. It's really funny. Northwestern Railway says, oh yeah, Disney Channel is in their renaissance right now. Absolutely. Again, for a while, like Disney Channel just wasn't doing so well. Like, I think the sitcoms were all, like, kind of the same and typical, and I didn't really like them as much, but now they're doing, like, a lot of animated content, which I think is incredible. And again, it's been enticing me to watch them a whole lot more now. And so, they've been doing really good. They've been doing really good. Better than Cartoon Network. For right now, this is kind of like my ranking in terms of channels as far as things are going. Disney Channel currently, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network. That's kind of where it's at right now, and it's probably a freaking typical rating, I guess. I don't know. But like literally, that's kind of just how things are right now. So, yeah, but I'm glad that Disney Channel has been doing really well in the past year, at least, I'll say. Brandon Heaton says, by the way, the new Paw Patrol movie looks good, though. I agree. I was surprised, honestly, that they brought Kim Kardashian back. I was not expecting them to bring back that character, but yep, she's in it again. And it's like, okay. But yeah, the movie does look interesting, and I'll probably check it out. I might not check it out in the movies, but yeah, like, the movie definitely does look interesting. It looked, it gave me a couple of chuckles, so that was pretty good. I enjoyed the first movie, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy the second one. But yeah, it definitely looks pretty good. Ice Cream Hero says, did you know SpongeBob is back with new episodes? Yeah, I've been checking up with most of the episodes. Said the best episode so far is Ride, Patrick Ride. I've kind of been hesitant on watching that one in particular, but I've heard some good things about it, so I might check that one out. One of the episodes that is a favorite of mine, I can't think of the name of the episode right off the bat, but it was the episode where Sandy starts, like, cooking some of her, like, her nuts, right? Her acorns. And, she started selling them at the Krusty Krab, because obviously Mr. Krabs was like, yes, sold! We are going to start selling them, and you're gonna make me a lot of money, you know? And so I definitely enjoyed that episode, especially considering that, like, when Sandy saw what this was doing to SpongeBob, how it was affecting him, she said, okay, bye, Krusty Krab, bye, Mr. Krabs, I am out. She did all that, for the sake of her friend, and I thought that was a pretty nice moment, shows that Sandy Cheeks is a very good friend. More people need to be like her. Yeah, okay, so we already kind of talked about that, about Primos. Okay, Ice Cream Hero also says, did you see Across the Spider-Verse? No, I haven't seen any of the Spider-Verse movies. Again, I'm not, like, the biggest fan of, like, superhero movies, you know what I mean? So it's not necessarily anything that kind of currently piques my interest, so. I mean, of course, I've heard, like, so many good things about it, but it's just not something that's like, ooh, I gotta definitely see that movie. I may check them out eventually, I don't know, but, it's, it depends. Walker Lee says, I would love for My Life as a Teenage Robot reboot, even though I hardly watched the show. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I watched it all that much when I was a kid, but I do remember watching it regardless, and then when it came to, like, the final episodes being aired on Nicktoons, I started watching it again. I'm like, man, I missed the show. Is My Life with as a Teenage Robot on Paramount Plus? I'm not sure. If it is, I might have to check that out eventually. Because I definitely do, excuse me, I would like to check it out. Again, it's called Hot Cross Nuts. Yeah, that was kind of my favorite episode from, the new episodes that aired so far. They're airing some new episodes again, next week, and I think the first one has to do with, Squidward. I forgot what the title is, but from what I know, and this one's going to be very interesting, he is going to be required to take a music class, a music lesson class. And I'm like, whoo, I want to see how they handle that one, because Squidward already thinks he's like a freaking musical prodigy, right? And so they're going to require him to take a music lesson class. It's like, yo, that's going to be very interesting to me to check that one out. Because I just got to see, like, how they kind of handle that one. That's going to be pretty funny to me. Cartoon Fan says, in my opinion, Kif as a character, the voice sounds like Baby Shark. The reason for that is it is the same voice actor. So the person who voices Kif is the exact same voice actor who plays Baby Shark. I think they do the characters slightly different, not too different, but slightly different. But yeah, it is the same voice actor, because I remember, like, when I was listening to Kif, I was like, that voice sounds familiar. I can't put my finger on it. But then when, like, I think on Nickelodeon, they kind of do, like, airings of, like, the Nick Jr. Promotions and whatnot, and then Baby Shark was featured in it, and when I heard Baby Shark's voice, I was like, that that's Kif! I was like, oh my god, that's the same voice actor. That's why she sounded so familiar. It was very interesting. I was like, boom, big freaking, mind blown at that point. So yeah, like that was, so yeah, that's why Kif sounds like Baby Shark, or why Baby Shark sounds like Kif, because it's the same voice actor. Yeah, yikesiola. Freaking love that. Ryan's Treasure says, thanks for letting me know. Have you ever been on Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin at Disneyland? Yes, I have. That is one of my more favorite, is there... Okay, yeah, I want to reply to, because there was another comment that I saw that was replying to somebody else, and I was like, okay, gosh, geez, I will get to that message later. Okay, but yeah, but Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin at Disneyland is one of my favorites. I always get on it. I've barely been to Disneyland's newer Toontown. I have ridden their shoot, what's the name of the ride? Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That ride is so much fun. I definitely have to try. I have to get on that ride the next time I go. But I would love to like explore more of Toontown when I go back to Disneyland eventually. I kind of want to go next week. It's just, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if I want to spend the money right now, but I might. I kind of want to still go to Disneyland during my birthday month. And also, because it's been cooler in June right now, I don't know if it's going to heat up in July. But I would like to go back very soon. So, it's definitely very possible. But yeah, like, I love that ride. So, it's such a fun ride. Like, I always kind of make the car spin. And everything. You know what I mean? So, I freaking love that ride. I get on it. If I can, I try to get on that ride every single time. Let's see. Luke says, are you excited for Bubble Brain, aka the Daffy Duck Porky Pig solo movie? Oh yeah, of course I am. For one, I'm glad that movie is still happening. I'm surprised that they changed the name from the day that the Earth died. I think that was the previous name of the movie, the day the Earth died or exploded or something, and changed it to Bubble Brain. Maybe more family friendly or something, I don't know. But yeah, like, I'm glad that the movie is still happening and we're still gonna get it, and so I'm definitely excited for it. I think it's gonna supposedly come out next year or something. I don't know, but it's gonna be very interesting. We need more Looney Tunes movies. I would hope that Bye Bye Bunny still happens, but at this point, I'm not really sure. It's not fully confirmed that it was canceled. It was being like shopped around to other outlets, but at this point, again, I like legitimately have no idea. Let's see. Joseph Ramirez says, do you ever get annoyed by those SpongeBob AI videos you keep seeing on YouTube recently? Slightly, yeah, because those are incredibly stupid. You know, like, it's, they're not really funny to me at all. Like, it's cringeworthy, and the characters are constantly talking about sex, and it's like, is that supposed to be funny? Like, it's stupid. So, like, yeah, I see it all the time, and it's like, it's really not that funny at all. So, yeah, it's like, can those please just go away? Like, enough. Like, enough! Cindy Alba says, do you like Hell of a Boss? Hell of a Boss is not really my thing, you know? I haven't really checked it out, but I have seen a couple of clips of it, and there was, like, one clip where I guess, like, Luna was supposed to go to, like, a doctor or a dentist or whatever, and, like, the dude was legitimately saying, like, the F word over and over and over again, and, like, almost every freaking sentence, and I'm like, is that supposed to be comedy? Like, Christ. Like, it was getting annoying, so I don't know if that's particularly a show that I would check out in particular. It's not necessarily it's just not my thing. It's not my style. Walker Lee says, I did remember having a huge crush on Jenny in my life as a teenage robot when I was a kid. I can't really blame you, okay? Jenny, or XJ9? XJ9. That's literally how she would say her name. I'm sorry, XJ9. I don't know why, but it's kind of funny to me. But yeah, she was a cute character, you know what I mean? So, okay, and Joseph Ramirez says that it is on Paramount Plus. Good! Good, because I do want to check that show out again. Because it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. My brother told me they are making a Miku/Jenny figure. Huh. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Your mom says, what long-running show do you think went through seasonal rot and flanderization the worst? To me, it has to be either Family Guy or Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, I don't think you can beat those two, honestly. I haven't watched Family Guy in a long time, but I haven't heard the greatest things about it. I mean, I guess I heard, like, this current season. I think I've heard a couple of people saying that it's gotten a little better, but again, like, I don't think it's necessarily, been that great. Like, I haven't watched it a lot because, you know, it's just not really my thing anymore, but it's kind of gotten very bad, so I don't really pay attention to it at all. And Fairly Odd Parents, the less said about the show, the better at this point. The less said about that particular show, the better. Gillian says, what are your favorite episodes of Tiny Toon Adventures? I've never watched Tiny Toons. I might check it out eventually, probably, especially so I can kind of get ready for the newer season. Uh-oh, am I disconnected? Okay, all right, I was thinking I was disconnected or whatever. Couldn't fully tell. Shoot. I can't tell if, like, the video quality is getting worse on this camera right now or not. What is it saying? It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Okay. This, so now it's not, okay, so yeah, I think, this is probably where I'm going to end it. It's never happened to me before where it's like, yeah, guys, it's, the stream is being pretty choppy right now, so yeah, I think this is probably going to be where I am going to end things. I am definitely getting hungry, Steckervore says, I guess you heard about the crazy news going on with Warner Bros. Discovery today. Yeah, talked about it a little earlier in the stream, and it's been, it's just hasn't really been all that well. Randolph says unnecessary cussing is just unnecessary. Absolutely. That's how I feel about it as well. Like, it's for me, like, if you're just cussing, you know, like, just for the hell of it, it's like, it's too much for me. Dude, they haven't talked about the Gumball movie in ages. They literally haven't. I have no idea, like, when the hell that is going, if they're ever going to talk about it again. I mean, we know that the next season is coming, but at the same time, like, we legitimately have absolutely no idea, if the movie is still happening. I don't know if it's still being shopped around to other streaming services or what. I don't know, but it really depends. It really depends. I, like, legitimately have, no idea when it comes to that. Yeah, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, yeesh, people, you don't need to be the next South Park or Family Guy. Edgy Edge just to be a product for adults. Yeah, like, I feel like sometimes when it comes to these shows, like, they try to do as much as they can for whatever reason to be like, yeah, we're proving to you guys that this is a show for adults, so we're gonna have all of these sex jokes and drugs and alcohol and people cussing up a story and blah blah blah. It's like, you don't need to freaking do that, okay? Like, don't go overboard with this crap. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they just, you know, Ice Cream Hero says curse words don't automatically equal comedy. Curse words work best when they are well placed or when characters have moments of extreme anger. Also, in my opinion, it's funnier when it's bleeped. Again, I 100% agree with that. Because, yeah, when I watched that clip from Hell of a Boss, I was like, oh my god, that's just freaking ridiculous. It's like, is this supposed to be funny? Is this the goddamn, comedy that you expect from Hell of a Boss? Especially considering that one of the things that I guess that clip was showing off was, like, a lot of, like, sexual innuendo jokes or something. And it's like, Christ. It's not funny. It's just weird to me. It's like, stop. Like... Ugh, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna have to end this stream right now, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to continue going on, but I am definitely getting very hungry. What? Okay. Yeah, but I am gonna have to, excuse me, I am gonna have to confirm, confirm nothing. I don't know why I was saying that, but I am gonna have to go and get me something to eat because I am getting very hungry, and I also do not want to miss the new episode of Unicorn Warriors Eternal. I know it's on Max, but I'm a television guy, okay? So I watch stuff on TV. But yeah, so Gary the editor spins out of existence. Virginia Lake says, have a good night, Josh, and the chat. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Again, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, Virginia Lake, whether it be on this chat or it be on Five Fires chat when we do, like, the Disney streams. It is always a pleasure seeing you. So, again, thank you so much for joining in the stream. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for me right now. So I am most likely going to, I hope I can put out a video sometime this week. I'm not really 100% sure. It really depends. But yeah, so we'll definitely see when it comes to that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining in the stream. If I have not gotten to your questions, in this stream, I definitely apologize for that. I can't get to every single question. But yeah, had fun with the stream. Bye, Gary. See you real soon. Mickey Mouse. I wish I could do a Mickey Mouse voice. I can only do like the South Park Mickey Mouse. You don't talk to me, you little pizza. That's the only kind of Mickey Mouse voice I can do. A little weird, but yeah. But anyway, again, thank you guys so much. Mason Wrigley, Jody B. Benson, Jody Benson, fan forever. Your mom, again, Virginia Lake. Mason Wrigley, cartoon fan, Joseph Ramirez, Aussie All, Juan Chenlier. I don't think I said hi to you. Welcome to the stream if you were here for a while, which you were. But thank you so much for joining. Staggervore, Walker Lee, Pithix. Again, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize for that. Ryan's Treasure, Randall. I hope you didn't just join, because it kind of sucks that you just joined if I'm ending. Hate it when that happens. But yeah, but again, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. It was a very nice stream. I will see you, Joseph Ramirez. Bye-bye. Take care. Hopefully I'll do another stream maybe very soon. We can just chat, do a Q&A and everything like that. We'll see. But yeah, but with that being said, thank you guys so much for being subscribed to this channel. Thank you so much for joining the stream. And, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your... Oh, yeah, I definitely need to go. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And remember, you're hearing it from a regular bunny in a regular world. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody.
Wanna be outside, take him hard.